So something pretty dramatic just happened in Iran. On December 31st, protesters in the city of Asadabad reportedly stormed a Basij base. That's a local headquarters for a paramilitary group tied to Iran's Revolutionary Guard, and set it on fire. And that matters a lot, because the Basij isn't just any group. They're the people the government sends in when protests break out. They enforce social rules, they crack down, they intimidate. So when you see flames pouring out of one of their bases, while crowds chant things like "Death to Khamenei" and "Damn Khomeini," that's not just a protest. That's open defiance of the entire system. And it's happening during the fourth straight day of unrest across the country. So what kicked this off? Short answer, the economy is collapsing. Iran's currency has tanked. Prices for basic food and fuel are way up. Inflation? Somewhere above 40%. So what starts happening? Truck drivers stop working. Bazaar merchants shut their shops. Oil and transport workers go on strike. Students join in. And pretty quickly, this stops being just about prices and starts sounding like this. Death to the dictator. We don't want the Islamic Republic. These are system-level demands, and they echo what we heard back in 2022 after the death of Mahsa Amini, calls for women's rights, for freedom, for dignity. A lot of analysts now say this could be the biggest wave of protests since then, maybe even a new phase of anti-regime unrest. Meanwhile, outside Iran, you have Reza Pahlavi, the son of Iran's last Shah, living in the US, trying to position himself as a voice of the movement. He's been calling for strikes, for defections from security forces, and for maximum international pressure on the regime. He talks about a secular, democratic future. Some Iranians, especially in the diaspora, see him as a potential leader. Others think he's capitalizing on the chaos and doesn't really have grassroots support inside the country. But he is shaping the narrative internationally. And then there's Israel. Iranian officials and critics keep pointing to Israeli involvement. There have been arrests of people accused of working with Mossad, and even a rare Farsi language post from Mossad appearing to back protesters. But here's the key thing. There's no clear evidence linking protesters to Israeli operations. Still, those claims give the regime a very useful talking point. This isn't about Iranians, this is foreign sabotage. So how is the regime responding? In a way that feels very familiar. The Basij and IRGC are being deployed. There are arrests, internet restrictions, warnings of a decisive response. Meanwhile, Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei is framing all of this as a propaganda war led by foreign enemies, blaming sanctions, avoiding meaningful reform, kind of just waiting it out. But here's the problem with waiting it out. The economy is still collapsing. Public trust is gone. Even some people who once supported the system are losing patience. And with Khamenei reportedly in fragile health, the stakes feel even higher. So when a Basij base burns, it's not just a building on fire. It's a symbol, a signal that fear is eroding, that anger is boiling over, and that Iran may be entering a phase where protests are no longer just expressions of frustration, but direct challenges to the power structure itself. And history shows, when that happens in Iran, the consequences can turn deadly very fast.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.